On to some bad news, folks, which is after my recent cancer diagnosis from having to watch, see clips of and quotes from the Devil May Cry series that came out on Netflix, I've got another bit of bad news health-wise, which is I've now got AIDS from watching the latest Idubbbz content cop. I can't catch a break. I just can't catch a break.
For the record, just for true transparency, you've got neither cancer nor AIDS. Let's be...
No, I do.
Okay.
I do. It's a tragedy. I've not got much longer left. So if you could please subscribe to the website Lotus Eaters to make sure that my legacy will at least have some meaning, that would be I'd be very, very grateful. Thank you very much.
In the next state of hate, they're going to say that you genuinely falsely claiming to have cancer.
Known grifter Harry Robinson made an appeal to fans by faking a cancer diagnosis.
Cancer liar Harry.
Cancer and AIDS both at the same time. Nick Lowell's, you're just going to have to trust me on this one, bro. Anyway, so the actual story is that Content Cop is back. Yay! Is everybody excited? You don't even know who Idubbbz is.
I said at the top of the show, I've never ever watched any Idubbbz. I wasn't even really sure who he was. So I don't know what content... Was it Content Cop?
Content Cop.
Is that his thing, where he goes through other people's content?
That was his thing.
Okay.
I think the last one before this came out 8 years ago.
Self-appointed cop.
Well, yeah, it was a big event back in the day. So Idubbbz used to make edgy jokes, edgy content. He was friends with people like Max Mofo. He was friends with people like Filthy Frank. He would appear in their videos as kind of a side character, doing really gross things, like making a cake out of hair and eating it. Huh. Silly...
Like the Dirty Sanchez.
Silly, puerile, jackass-adjacent, gross stuff.
Okay.
Right? And that, if I'm honest, is when Idubbbz was at his best as a side character. He's called Ian. I forget what his original surname was because he took his wife's surname when they got married. He is now Ian Jomer, and he has become, since the glory days, quite the lol cow. Okay. He is very obviously long-housed to hell. He has humiliated himself in too many ways to count. First off, his wife started an OnlyFans, and then he went on the public record protecting her, defending her from all of these people making fun of the both of them because she started an OnlyFans. He has...
Someone else do that? Wasn't one of the other lefty libtard commentary dudes
he was the most famous one to do that. He tried to do a big takedown documentary on Sam Hyde, which ended up backfiring, ended up restarting Sam Hyde's career in the public, to be perfectly honest.
I think that's the only reason I even have heard of the name is from Sam Hyde dunking on him loads.
Yeah, he tried to do this big thing where he was going to expose Sam Hyde. Sam Hyde turned it into a big prank. Tried to convince Idubbbz that he had a crackhead girlfriend, and that his what was it they did? He goes into this office, which is an old dentist's office that they were working out of, not actually where Sam Hyde works, but he got a load of people to pretend to be his staff and crew, and they came up with goofy video ideas on a whiteboard, and then he got them all to chant as if it was their mantra: think it, dream it, do it. Think it, dream it, do it. And Idubbbz is there looking really confused the whole time, wondering what the hell is going on. And the whole thing turned into a big prank against Idubbbz.
Was it all an elaborate ruse by Sam Hyde?
Yes. Idubbbz clearly wanted to do a hit piece documentary on him. Right. Like, the evil anti-Semitic far-right Nazi Sam Hyde. Let's see how he's fallen and what he's doing now. Okay. And Sam Hyde turned it into a big prank that completely changed his fortunes and boosted his public profile. Right. So Idubbbz got the worst of that. I just wish that Sam Hyde had been able to do the sorts of things that he'd originally been planning on doing, because he only got to do a few of the pranks he was planning on. They'd come up with some great ideas, like the best one that I've heard was drive Idubbbz to a bad part of town where loads of gangbangers were, and say he would be back in a minute and lock him in the car and leave him there for 4 hours.
Bloody hell.
That might have been dangerous, but it would have been funny. I mean, he did go, put Idubbbz in the passenger seat while he was reckless driving. They went to the underpass of a bridge and started boxing one another. And Sam was like, "Come on, join in, Idubbbz, join in, Ian. Don't worry about it." And Idubbbz is just very confused the whole time. It was great. It's great. You should watch it.
What I'm getting from this is, don't tangle with Sam Hyde.
Don't try to disingenuously tell Sam Hyde you want to do a documentary when obviously you want to do a hit piece on him.
Because I haven't watched.
He will mess with you.
I haven't watched a great deal of Sam Hyde, but I've watched a bit, probably in total 2 or 3 hours worth of Sam Hyde content. He seems based and funny.
He is.
Is that fair enough?
Also, if you see clips from Sam's
watched
live streams that he does where he switches the character off a little bit and he gives genuine advice to people, he seems like a genuinely smart and insightful guy as well. All-round good guy, big Sam Hyde appreciator right here. Ian, not so much. He was humiliated by the whole experience. Also, it seemed to be part of this larger apology tour that he was going on, apologizing for the fact that he used to do things like say the N-word in his videos because he was an edgy boy back in the day. Back onto Content Cop. So Content Cop was his prime series for a few years, and it was a huge event whenever one would come out where he would take on, if we're honest, low-hanging fruit. Low-hanging fruit. People like Leafy, people like Keemstar, people like Rice Gum. People like Rice Gum were scumbags who were actively pulling scams on their audience, and he would tell them off for it. Keemstar, there's a lot to criticize with Keemstar. Easy, low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, I know Keemstar, I know Leafy. I've not heard of that other one.
Probably for the best.
But either way, low-hanging fruit, they're not really steeped in political philosophy or anything.
Leafy, he was mainly making fun of because he had a small chin. And as part of it, as part of the video, I think Leafy had accused Idubbbz of having a receding hairline at one point, so Ian decides as part of the video to shave the front of his hairline off and say, now this is a receding hairline. And I was never huge into it, to be honest, because as much as it was a huge event at the time when they were coming out, like 2015 to 2017, I was late to the party. I watched them all in 2018 and 2019 with some friends who told me how amazing they were. And by that point, without all of the hype and context around them, all I saw was a skinny nerd shaving his head in his bedroom, making fun of some low-hanging fruit that I'd never heard of, like another skinny nerd who nobody cared about at the time. So I was never huge into them. They had their moments, but they weren't like this big cultural paradigm shift for me. They were old news by that point.
This past part, I was already sort of in my 30s with a job and a mortgage.
Yeah, and there's also the part that it's all based around old drama that didn't matter anymore by the time that I was watching it.
Okay.
And let's be honest, internet drama has a ridiculously high pace of turnaround. So by the time the drama's over, it's not that it doesn't matter anymore. It's literally that it basically may as well have never happened. But, again, as part of it, the biggest one really actually thinking about it was the Tana Mojo one, where he filmed himself going to one of her meetups, put his arm around her, this is quite a famous clip, and said to the camera, and said the N-word, and it really freaked her out.
Okay.
So he's since apologized for that, and he's done the big apology tour. He went on Hassan Piker and talked about how regretful he was that he did all that offensive stuff. He did this video, which came out, when's that? About 2 years ago now, called I Miss the Old Idubbbz, where he's talking about how apologetic he was, how offensive he was back then.
He's quite big. I can see 7 million subs.
Most of those from back in the day.
Okay.
He built that audience back in the day when he was doing the edgy boy stuff.
Quick question. Is this someone that you should just feel sorry for?
Yeah, kind of.
Right.
I feel bad for him because I think, along with a lot of people, Sam Hyde said the same thing. His wife has ruined him. Yeah. I mean, he took her surname. He's been humiliated as a cuckold through the whole OnlyFans debacle. The man is a shell of his former self. He's a shadow on the wall. And now he's doing these apology tours. He took on this disgusting rat tail and mustache combo for a long while. He organised the the Creator Clash boxing events. The first one was a minor success. The second one was mired in controversy because Sam Hyde was training one of the people who was going to be appearing on it. And so Idubbbz decided to get rid of the person that Sam Hyde was training because he didn't want any association with Sam. Sam tried to buy front row tickets to the event, got barred from it. And there was all the controversy to do with that made him look like a coward, because he was a coward, because he didn't want to be confronted by Sam Hyde. And it was such a disaster, it didn't make the money back that they spent on it. So it didn't make the money that they'd promised to donate to charity. So instead they did charity streams to try and make that money back, and donated, I think, like 250 grand of their own money to give to the charities because it was such a failure, because they paid for no expenses spared for the people who were taking part in it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So humiliation from top to bottom. Somebody well past the prime of their career, somebody that you kind of just look on with pity.
It's a classic thing, I think. Good advice for anyone out there. If you're trying to make it in the world, you're trying to make a name for yourself, whatever it is, in whatever field you're doing.
Don't hitch yourself to Yoko Ono.
And you think that a quick way to do it is by being a baddie or humiliating yourself. Resist that. Don't do that. It might take longer, or you might never get there, but don't do that.
Well, this isn't necessarily a case of that. This is a case of a guy like Many, who was edgy back in the day, who has since turned into a massive leftist.
And is that what he is? His shtick now is being a lefty.
He's a massive leftist now. I mean, he's associated with Hassan Piker,
okay,
and loads of people like that.
I don't feel that sorry for him.
No, I feel sorry for him because I've said before, I worry that it'll end up with a Benoit situation. He doesn't have kids. But I worry because the man, you can only push a man so far. You can only humiliate a man so much.
I've got very, very, very little sympathy for people that used to be centrist or right-leaning that choose to go left, like H3. I did.
Well, H3 ties into this, actually.
Oh, really? Because I used to watch a fair bit of H3.
He was funny back in the day.
Yeah, the really early stuff was quite funny, and he was reasonably based. He certainly wasn't a wokeist.
He was a centrist.
Centrist. He was never right.
Anti-SJW centre-left.
Right, at least that. It was anti-SJW, let's say that at least. So anyone that chooses then to go left, it's like anyone raised in the Western tradition that chooses to convert to Islam. I've got no sympathy really for you.
Yeah, well, I think they call it, there's a term that they've deemed it now, which is trolls regret. Trolls regret. They were trolled back in the day. Now they feel bad about it, mainly because they've got a nagging woman telling them about how terrible it was. I can't believe you said that kind of nagging attitude. And so they get the regret and they like to pull the ladder back up behind them. Of course, I got big doing this back in the day, but I would never condone people doing it now. That kind of attitude. It's insufferable. But in the mire of all of this and everything that I've just said, a few days ago, literally 5 days ago, he suddenly announces Content Cop returns. And
Sorry, is it Content Cop or Content Chop?
He put Chop for some reason. I don't know why. It is Content Cop.
Okay.
And I, along with a lot of other people, went, you sure you want to do that, Ian? You sure you want to do that? And everybody was saying, well, who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? Some were even suggesting he might do it on his old stuff, on the old Content Cops. Some were saying he might...
Meta, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, it would be meta. Some were saying it could be anybody. Some suggested it would be on H3H3. Now, I, along with a lot of other people, saw that and went, well, but they're friends. They're friends. They've been friends for years. Idubbbz appeared on Ethan's channel back in the day, back in like 2018. So why would he do it on a friend? Well, the video came out yesterday. It was on H3. It was on H3. Given that he's friends now with Hassan Piker, and he is a full-blown leftist, whereas Ethan is he's Jewish, he's married to an Israeli, and he's a Zionist. Can you guess what the big blow-up is over? It's Israel-Palestine.
Okay.
It's Israel-Palestine.
So is Idubbbz pro-Palestinian?
By the sounds of it, yeah.
Okay.
If you told me back in, if I'd known about this Content Cop back when it was 2015, 2016, 2017, when it was huge, I was too busy seeing friends, going out drinking, to pay attention to random internet drama. But if you told me that the reason that H3 and Idubbbz would blow up is because of a conflict in the Middle East and divisions like that, I would have said that you're absolutely crazy. But that's just where we are right now. And
do you think Idubbbz goes into sort of ancient history?
I don't think Idubbbz knows that much about the conflict somehow.
And
I think
theology and the 20th century fallout of World War I and all this.
I don't think he's watching Daryl Cooper's 30-hour series on the subject. No, I don't think he is. But, like, just to give you an idea of the content of this content cop and the style of humor, the quality of joke that we've got. So it opens up with a little section where Hassan Piker is there, along with all of these other people who I've never heard of, who are all, you know, pro-Palestine. One of them's wearing a hijab, so I assume they're all a bunch of Islamists. And this is the quality of joke that we get. And for those of you watching at home, I'm sorry to put you through this.
Today, I have a very important announcement. I've finally done it. I watched Ethan Klein's Content Nuke. And I'm not going to call it context.
Shut up,
I
man,
am
skip past it.
an
I hate you.
Islamist, fundamentalist, radical,
We know, Hassan.
everything. How? Wake up, Ethan. Wake up, Ethan. Ethan, wake up.
Wakey, wakey, Ethan. Wake up, Ethan. Wake up. Time to be awake, Ethan.
Wake up, Ethan.
This is no longer a dream. This is a nightmare.
Sure, he's
Wake
cracking
up.
himself.
Ethan, the dumb
yeah.
bitch is telling you to wake up.
Wake up.
Ethan, wake up.
Wake up, Ethan.
Ethan, wake up.
Wake up.
Soon, anyone?
Just wake up.
Wake up.
Wake up.
Wake up. Wake up, Ethan.
I'm not going to do a react content yet, chat.
I'm the same Joe.
I think that's about enough of that. Funny? Get a chuckle out of you?
Oh, was that supposed to be funny?
That was supposed to be funny.
All right, okay.
Yeah. This seems to be the overriding image that people got from this right now, which is I can't skip to it, but it's the bit where they're all doing the like L and the Fortnite dance behind him. It's really just not funny. And then I watched the full thing. I don't need to play clips from it because really what this isn't a content cop. It's not going over really anything other than a difference of opinion and personal feuds that Ethan has with all of these extra people that Ian is friends with, like Hassan, who used to do a show with Ethan back in the day, and all of these other people are people that Ethan has insulted over personal differences to do with Israel-Palestine by the looks of it. So this isn't really even like, okay, Ethan is lying to people, Ethan is misinforming people, Ethan is doing this and that and this and that. It's personal issues. It's just a big personal beef that he's made an hour-long video about with a lot of concern trolling and a lot of fake empathy. Again, Idubbbz is not the kind of guy who would say to Ethan these days, you're being retarded, and then throw a load of slurs at him, which would at least be entertaining and funny, right? Now he's going, I really think that, you know, Ethan's not feeling well in his mental state. I think he's not right in the head. Maybe he should go to therapy. Maybe he should do this. And it's all concern trolling, big fake empathy hug box of like pure therapy. I even found myself agreeing with clips that I saw on Twitter being shared of Destiny and XQC, where Destiny was saying, just insult him, call him a slur, and we would be better off if you did that. And XQC saying things like, this isn't content cop, this is content therapy. This is not what people signed up for when you said content cop's back, but everybody knew it was going to happen. And
Destiny was the other one who got cucked by...
Yes, Destiny, by his wife.
But yeah, this seems like worthless content. I mean, one of the things I try and do, and I'm not always capable of doing it, but on my own channel and at Lotus Eaters, I try and make content that is at least of some value for a small amount of time, at least. I try and make evergreen content as much as possible, really, that just might,
stand the test of time.
yeah, or be informative or interesting to people. But this does seem like absolute throwaway nonsense.
Yeah, it's an hour of nothing. It's an hour of Ian airing his personal grievances alongside all these other people. When really the more tactful thing to do, I would have thought, would be to try and have a personal conversation and iron things out that way. This didn't need to be a video that was made. But then just to show what's going on, is this video at the end of it ends with, again, the big fake empathy. oh, we care so much about you, we're concerned so much about you, after you've spent an hour insulting him, defending people who have insulted him, defending people like Hassan who said that 9/11 deserved to happen, defending people, like all of these nobodies. One of them, I think, Samson, you might know the name, which was the Frogan said that US veterans deserve to get PTSD. These are the sorts of people that you're defending. Okay, these are the sorts of people that you're associating with. But no, Ethan, he's got mental problems. That's why he's doing the things, which is just gaslighting. Not that I'm a huge fan of Ethan or a big defender anymore.
He's a douchebag himself pretty badly as well. So
in this conflict...
This is a bum fight between a-holes.
Two retards fighting. Yeah. But somehow Ian has done such a good job of making himself look like a fake empathetic arse that I'm rooting for Ethan in the retard fight.
You've got to go some to be more obnoxious than
but he ends it with this big thing where he's like, I'm going to try and be fair, and so all these people that you've had beefs with, I want them to say something nice about you, like you're on the playground and the teacher's saying, you've got to say something nice to one another after you've got into a fight with a bully or something. And so it ends with this, and just watch where Ian comes completely out of nowhere with no context, the clip he inserts of himself. Check this out, okay? So
I think that's a big reason why people were drawn to your content in the first place. I think that's a lot of the reason why your employees chose to work with you over anyone else.
Ethan, I think it's respectable that you even began this journey to leave behind the anti-SJW crowd and step into a more empathetic worldview. I know it's not easy.
Ethan Klein, I think that when you are being goofy, when you're being silly, when you are being lighthearted and just having fun with your friends, I think that is when you're at your best. So I'd love to see more of that. That'd be sick.
I will be reading my letter off because I don't want to sound robotic. H3 used to be the sports figure that I used to watch. I hope that one day gets back to what I remember. You were one of the inspirations for me to start creating.
Don't want to sound robotic, so I'll read.
Yeah. I hope you really hear this, and I wish you the best.
In a moment.
I think Ethan Klein rocks a buzz cut pretty good, and I think he's got a good choice of facial hair. I think it's really cool what he did 8 years ago, fighting that frivolous lawsuit. That was pretty fucked up, and fighting it, he changed YouTube for the better. And I thought that was cool because I thought it was like he was fighting for free speech.
I also see the dynamic of Ethan and Elon. Like, fuck, it's really hard to be a couple online and see people attacking your partner, and it's like, okay, like if you come to their defense, if that doesn't always help them, right? Sometimes that makes it worse for them.
And I have been.
So,
what's he crying about?
That's the question. I saw that clip going around on Twitter and I thought, wait, does he dedicate the last 10 minutes of the video to a therapy session or something? No, it's cut in with no context. Idubbbz crying to a therapist about how difficult it is to try and defend your prostitute wife on the internet. And it's like, what the hell has happened to you, Ethan? What's going on, you little bitch? Like, I'm sorry, all of these problems seem to come from your wife, dude. You're humiliating yourself by putting that clip in this video. You didn't need to do that, man. It's so strange. Of course, I was going to say, oh, look at how the dislike to like ratio is going. You can see it here. Not going great. People didn't like this video. It's a terrible, terrible video.
Seen worse, but that's pretty bad.
Yeah. There were the people involved in it were posting stuff like this. Nobody cares about these people. This is really embarrassing.
See, that image to me is the type of thing where if I was trying to be obnoxious,
as uncool as possible,
if I was, for ironic purposes, trying to look like a twat, I would create an image along those lines.
Yeah.
And yet, why would any normal, self-respecting man do such a thing anyway?
These people are posting it themselves. This isn't somebody hacking their account and going, what's the most humiliating thing I can post?
Why do they care so much about H3? Of all things you could pick to make content about, it seems like you really care loads about it.
It's just petty. Funnily enough, at the beginning of this video, he makes a joke saying that people, now that Content Cop is back, going to want him to do Content Cops on this person or that person, and he name checks Carl. So I clipped it, and I've put it out on Twitter and just said, do it. Do it, please. I want to see you try to take Carl down now. I want to see what kind of arguments that you're going to make when this whole thing was a personal airing of grievance.
Have they got an old beef then?
No.
Oh, okay. Oh,
no, but I just want to see... But, I mean, he's a massive leftist now, so I'd love to see what he would say. There are, like, people just sharing screenshots, like, what is going on?
Oh, so intimidating. The dead-eyed...
I mean, Ian, who didn't used to have a lazy eye, but rather like Shawn Michaels, took a blow to the face that gave him a lazy eye. Yeah, it's part of the most recent creator clash. Yeah, he got punched in the face so hard that it's given him a permanent lazy eye now.
Oh, shit, that's bad.
So, yeah, I wonder, have you seen Shawn Michaels these days? Like, his lazy eye is basically like all the way out because it's got worse and worse and worse over time since it happened to him back in 2004. So I wonder if 20 years from now, Ian's going to be like, looking in like a little bit like Sartre.
Oh God,
he's going to have that look to him.
That's terrible.
That would be
Sartre's
terrible.
one of the worst ones of all time, right?
It would be funny though. It would be funny. People have been posting that clip saying, "I can't believe that you would do this. Here's an artist's rendition."
Yes,
I know. I think you're doing a bit too much credit to the broadness of Hassan's shoulders, but I've not met him in person. So Ethan Klein actually found out about this live on air as he was streaming. The video dropped while he was streaming. So there's a few videos of him finding it. The best one is where he's like, yeah, Sam Hyde, he and I are very different politically, but congrats for breaking Idubbbz' mind, because I think that you've driven him over the cliff.
That was Ethan's real-time reaction.
Ethan, after he started, he started reacting to the video over the stream, and yeah, he said at one point, he's like, I mean, you know, congrats to Sam Hyde, he's a really funny guy. I think you've broke Ian's mind, and this is the overwhelming picture. This is what people are going to remember from this video. It's not going to be the epic dunks and takedowns that you did on H3. It's going to be you crying like a bitch for no reason about how people make fun of your relationship. And they should. They should. Because if there's going to be another content cop, I've got the perfect person for you to do it on, Ian. Your own wife. She needs taken down a peg, buddy. Reclaim your surname, at least. For God's sake, this is a notorious clip now from a live stream from a few years ago, and the voice of the woman that you can hear off camera is his wife. And watch this.
Well, I want to ask Rajor a question first.
Okay.
Rajor...
Wait, we should get Rajor in here.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you can.
Well, if you can. I just want to ask him if you've always been shitting your pants.
No.
Because since I've known you, you've always had, like, IBS. You've always been shitting yourself.
Yeah, well.
Actively humiliating him on stream to the whole world by telling everybody that he regularly shits himself.
Nice. Thanks for that, love.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah, so maybe your next content cop, there's an idea for you, buddy.
If you would like to watch the full uncut version that is also uncensored, head on over to lotuseaters.com to find out more.